out to Adrian and Brian, and here is the updated Group G table. So Belgium with a 100% record, 2 wins from 2, 6 points, a goal difference of +6, and that puts a little bit of pressure on England. The latest chapter will be completed when the English play Panama tomorrow at 1 o'clock. But of course, they'll want to knock in a few goals to try and improve their goal difference and try and top the group. So that's the situation in Group G at the moment. So interesting in the end there, and Brian probably summed it up well, that the late goal from Tunisia, it takes a little bit of a shine off the results as far as the Belgians are concerned, and maybe suggests there are a couple of issues to be sorted out. But I was thinking at the same time, Kevin, that if Company returns, that'll probably alleviate the issues at the back a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. When they get Company back in there, his experience, his organisation, but you know, still 5-2, could have been 7, could have been 8. Yeah. Shuey could have come on and had a hat-trick. If I was Lukaku, I would be fuming coming off. He's going to be trying to be top goal scorer in the World Cup. We were just saying, there's no way Ronaldo would have come off in that situation or would have been taken off. He's never, you know, there's goals to be had, you're staying on, and I'm sure Lukaku will be looking back at that and seeing the chances that Shuey missed, and thinking I'd have had another couple there.
Well, all in all, it's been a successful afternoon for Eden Hazard and his Belgian side. Another 5 goals added to their tally. They scored 3 in their opener against Panama, so in a very good position in Group G, as we showed to you earlier on. Richie, let's start with Eden Hazard and that goal at the start of the second half. I mean, that really put whatever chances Tunisia might have held out to try and get back in the game. That was it after this, wasn't it?
We spoke at half-time and wondered would they go for this. They should have been hungry for goals, because against a defence like this we knew there'd be opportunities, but also because of the talent in this Belgium squad. De Bruyne here, for example, that's a really good ball in behind the defender. Ben Alouane, one of the substitutes who came on, completely lost, but it was a quality of the ball, the timing of the movement. Maguez there as well tries to come back. The goalkeeper, I think, did quite well actually not to concede what would have been a penalty, which probably would have been the end of his game. You can see him there, he just pulls back, he's concerned not to do that. So really tidy finish, the kind of skill we're used to seeing from these Belgian players, which that put any lingering doubt about the result, which none of us felt there was anyway, but that put it out of sight at that stage. Yeah, we've got to try and keep the view of Belgium balanced for the moment, because it's only the second game in. The fact that they missed so many chances, Kevin, would you be mildly critical of them? Or, I mean, 5 goals is a decent return, but it could have been more.
I don't think you'd be critical tonight. Martinez said before, and he doesn't mind them being boring. He'd like them to be even a bit boring. Well, they certainly weren't today. No. You know, it's chance after chance. We've picked out a few here, but you know, just all night long. And it's the first time I've seen a team in the World Cup. I know they're playing Tunisia, and Tunisia are out of the tournament now, and they weren't great, but they were good against England. People thought they gave England a very tough game. They did give England a very tough game. But Belgium were in a rhythm tonight. Every time they went forward, it looked like they could create something. It was really impressive. You know, Hazard, Lukaku and Mertens get a lot of mentions. I thought Carcasso was excellent, getting forward on the left. And it's just, you could pick the front three out definitely. You could pick all their midfield. De Bruyne was class again. This ball here by Carcasso. You know, it was just every time they went forward, it really was. I know Tunisia were terrible, their back four were all over the shop. Brian said in commentary they could take the whole back four off, but Belgium still had to go out and do it, create those chances, score 5 goals, could have had 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, and that wasn't even the end of it there, Richie, because while we were wondering would Batshuayi ever get a goal because he had so many chances, but he finally got one in the end.
He did, yeah. I mean, he left it late. It was the 91st minute, I think, before he did get the goal. But the impact he made, I mean, he did well here. It's 1-2 outside the box. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, goes around him. You think that's surely his first goal, but really well defended. I don't think he got good contact with the shot. Same thing again, 1-2 outside the box. Picks up a really good position centrally. If the goalkeeper does this, he should be in a position to hammer that home. Somehow misses from about 6 yards. Hits the crossbar, comes back, but still gets himself in the right positions. You think surely this time, 6 yards out again, volley cleanly struck straight at the goalkeeper and puts the follow-up over the bar. And you can see at that stage he's thinking, what the hell do I have to do to score? But he's getting the opportunities, and with players in the team like this, he's going to get more opportunities. So it was a deserved finish. It was a long time coming, but this Belgian team, they can create chances going forward. Part of that was due to the poor defensive play by Tunisia at times, but the quality of the ball, the quality of the play here again, the skill, the timing. Could have got a second, but just squashed the shot again. So the quality to come off the bench, the huge amount of quality to start. 16 or 17 of the players now have been used, and Brian made the point in commentary, Martinez is maybe doing that deliberately to keep everyone feeling like they have a role to play on the pitch in the build-up to this game. I read a few of his quotes. He was calling on all the squad, saying whether you're injured or not, or starting or not, you have a role to play, and your contribution is very easy to assess. And I thought, well, that's telling. He's keeping an eye on everyone to make sure they're doing their bit for the squad. So a really, really good, positive day for Belgium.
Yeah, and I know, Clinton, you felt that Lukaku would have been a little bit frustrated being taken off with a hat-trick in the offing, the golden boot probably in the back of his mind. But let's look at his overall contribution. A good game for him today.
No, I thought it was a handful. I thought it was the catalyst for everything that was good about Belgium. We always complain about he's holding the ball up. That's a decent touch into him. He ran the channels ever so well here. Gets his head up ever so well. I always think centre forwards, when they're out wide, know how to cross the ball because they know how they like it when the ball's in. But this goal's brilliant. Toilet said at half-time, the movement was brilliant. The way he sucked the defender in and made that. It's a great little touch around the corner there for Witsel. His general overall play was fantastic. And this finish here is very clever. He could have just slid that under him, but the little dink finish over, I thought it was a real handful, and he deserved these 2 goals. The only thing, the disappointment he would have is, why did he take me off? There's still half an hour to go. He would be sitting on the bench, see those Batshuayi chances and be thinking, I could have had the Golden Boot award won to me already, just in that game. But he was a handful all afternoon and brilliant.
Do you think Richie has the reason right that Roberto Martinez is thinking, right, let's get as many of these players on the pitch as possible, let's get them involved so we don't have any moaning in the camp, and also, to a point, maybe rest Lukaku because he knows he's their main goal threat.
Yeah, definitely. You can see Lukaku and Hazard come off the 2 main goal threats, but in particular Hazard, he was Lukaku, he was limping off. He limped off when he came off. So you never know, you can pick up injuries through tournaments, and he gave Batshuayi a few minutes, and he scored his goal eventually. He probably should have had more, but you're going to need Lukaku, so it was the right move to take him off at that precise time.
Yeah, I think you're right, to keep the freshness of the really key players, and Hazard came off as well, Lukaku, to keep those as fresh as can possibly be, given that it's a tournament situation. That's clever management.
Yeah, no, very satisfactory from Roberto Martinez's point of view. We're going to be talking about managers in a short while, Kevin. Roberto Martinez, a surprise appointment at the time when he got the Belgium job, but he has shown, even in the lead up to this World Cup, that he's not... he doesn't shirk the responsibility of making tough decisions, and I suppose the players would respect him for doing that.
I think so. It's, you know, especially when you're an international team, you're not together a whole lot. So he speaks very well, and if you're not hearing him speak all the time, I think you'd really enjoy him being a manager. I know, listening to him interviewed...
You mean you could hear him talk too much?
Yeah, I found that as a fan or looker, not a fan, watching soccer matches, looking at Everton, he speaks so much. You know, I would get tired of that as a player. But on the international stage, you hear him every 6 weeks, 2 months, you believe in it, you buy into it. He's very positive, always very positive, no matter what. And you can see that in the way they play. They pass the ball very well, they create chances, and it's, you know, it's coming from their manager, the way he talks. You can see it in the way they play.
And Clinton, I just can't imagine it being too easy to manage a team that is so full of superstars, all with their egos, all with their different ways, and all needing to be looked after in a certain way. So, has he done a good job so far?
Yeah, he has so far in the results, you can see, but he's had to make some big calls. Nangalang, the midfielder, the Belgian public, they weren't happy. There was a call for his head, really, at one time when he left him out. He also left Christian Benteke out as well, but that was a bit different. He had a poor season for Crystal Palace, but Nangalang was the big call, and he left him out. And he's had to make some big calls, but when you've got that much group of players, it must be very hard to manage because you've got to keep every individual player happy. And they've got some talented players there. Like you see today, Dembele's not even been used. Nasser Chadli hasn't been used. Their squad is really good. But I think he manages the team really well. But what he has, he's got good assistants with him. I think he's clever with the people that he's brought in to help him manage that group. And at the moment, he's been successful, and long may it continue for him.
Like, do you think the addition of somebody like Thierry Henry is a good decision with the players that he has in that squad?
Definitely. You can see them coming out. He's got that calming influence. I think when Thierry Henry speaks, you listen because of the career he's had. I'm not saying that sometimes being a good footballer means you can become a good coach. But I think when he's giving you advice and the runs to make on the pitch, and I think that's why Lukaku's playing well and putting balls in the back of the net, because working with Thierry, you'd be working with the strikers day in, day out, what type of movements to make, what type of finishes to do. So it's a successful camp at the moment, and happy Belgian fans.
Yeah, possibly. The only issue really lies at the back, and maybe when Vincent Kompany comes back, as we've said, Richie, repeatedly, it'll make a significant difference to them. But let's have a look at the final goal they did concede. Again, a little bit open, as Brian said, at the back.
Yeah, and you wonder again, I mean, standards and your levels of concentration are inevitably going to drop when you're winning 5-1 and it's an injury time here. But it was decent ball in, and Khazri got the finish, good reward for a huge amount of work he did in what were difficult circumstances. Naguez, one of the substitutes who came on, forced substitution because of an injury at the back, pulled it back, but slightly took the gloss off the scoreline or the result, as you said earlier. But it's 8 goals, it's 6 points, it's top of the group, hugely confident now, no injury concerns, company's coming back, they're already qualified. It's so far so good for Martinez and for Belgium. And as well, I don't think, you asked the question there, dealing with all the egos, is that going to be difficult? They're a highly driven group of people as well. Like, they're hugely talented, but they're all driven. They must be aware of not only the expectation on them, but the opportunity they have as a group as well. So I don't think, we have to be careful how we portray this. They're not a group of people who we assume are going to try and derail their chances. They'll all want to play, but they'll all accept that they can't all play. And Martinez looks so far to be managing that as well as he can.
Yeah, so Belgium move on, I should say, in the competition. They are through to the round of 16, and maybe that eases the pressure on them for that final group fixture against England.